welcome back to ANNO 117, where in the last episode we completed getting the patricians to their max level. And by max level I don't mean we have done all of the productions, there's a couple of productions we haven't done, but we've unlocked it all. We have, more than 2000 patrician, and with this you unlocked everything, including those chariots and the lyre, and we have of course also the amphitheater, at least foundation. That was on our first island ever, right? The first island that we built over here. And then lastly, we colonized this new island here, which we said we would dedicate to Mars. As you can see, completely empty, don't even have resources yet. My idea is we're going to place houses, a lot of houses all over here. Then a bit of production on this side, a bit of production on that side. We'll probably need it, especially if we want to do all of the military production on site, right? The goal is, again, to dedicate this to Mars. We have right now a couple of goals that are really good, right? We've gotten to Neptune over here, we've gotten to Cernunnos and to Ceres to the max. We have started Epona, but we haven't started Mars. And so the goal is to get Mars to the top, including, if possible, getting it over Neptune, so that we get this +1 offense and +1 defense for all troops. Versus Neptune, is 10% speed for ships. It's not that important. Now, I am not going to build it live completely because that's gonna take a bit of time, but don't worry, I'm gonna explain exactly how I built it, and we will still build other things together. So let's jump into the future. And here it is. We have, as I said, a lot of population on this side. We have a few productions here. There's still definitely some space, and we have not touched this part of the island at all. But that's also because I haven't started military, or I haven't even covered all of the productions we want to do. But as you can see, this island is already great. We have already 4,000 not of people, of workforce. If we look at the people, it's almost 10,000 people are already living on this island, especially also thanks to some of the bonuses we're getting. I mean, you can look at it, right? From the actual needs, we're getting what, 6, 1, 2, 2, 5. Okay, let's say we're getting 3,000 something, say 3,500 max from the actual needs. Everything else is coming from the bonuses. We're getting more than 1,500 from the temple, getting almost 1,500 from the bath. We're getting 650 from, the Ceres shrines, and as much from the Mars shrine, because obviously we haven't unlocked the Mars shrine. So let me show you a bit how I did it. Well, first of all, I placed buildings like the forum, the bath, and the temple right in the middle over here, right? And then I started to put roads like very far to, like, from here to there, to see is the range there. And you can see the range is there. It is covering it all. It is covering almost everything. It's not like you can make it perfect, but I was like, okay, so that's a good place for these, right? Then there are other buildings like the sanctuary or the market. Their range is a lot smaller. So these ones, I know I'm gonna need multiple of them. But what I'm trying to do is, especially in this island, while I had put this over here, I knew, okay, let's make maybe a first corner here and see, can I cover it all with this guy here, right? And it was working really well. Similarly, then I'm gonna, do the same for the market, and then I'm gonna copy these over here and see, okay, does that work? Yes, it works. Copy it over here. Does that work? Yes, it works. It's covered well. And then the last one basically on this side here. So that was, oh, we're getting attacked. How to, oh yeah, we're in range of that one because we're trying to go kill this parrot. So that was, I did it. It's a bit trial and error. Sometimes you move something a bit. Sometimes you have to delete. For example, at the beginning, I hadn't planned to put a theater. I had focused on only putting all of the services that give population. So, market, tavern, definitely great ones. Also, all of the buildings that would give me belief to try to get really Mars to the top. So the sanctuary, for sure, you can see we have 4. Then I didn't put a Grammaticus at all. We're already making good knowledge production, don't need that. Then we move over here, definitely the forum, as we just mentioned, this is a lot of population, and the bath too, a lot of population. And lastly, over here we have the temple, a lot of population. The library, this is just knowledge and prestige, so I didn't put it. But then I started, to have all of my population, and I started to be quite negative in the happiness. So I thought, okay, how to get back into positive in happiness? Yeah, one way is to put a theater, to be honest. If you look at my happiness over here, the theater is providing how much? 2,230. So without this, right, we would be at minus 2,000. That obviously is something to keep in mind. Then, I start putting houses, right? Houses everywhere. Then I started placing, my shrines. So you look at how many shrines you have. And that based also on how big the city is. In this case here, we had 14. And again, you focus on the one that are linked to your goal for this island. The goal for this island for me is to get as much population as possible, right? To support a big army, but also to get a big amount of belief. So we have done that by again placing them. So you can see over here there is 7 of the Ceres one. And the way you start is, you first put one, and once you put one, you start to see, okay, where is the next one I can put that's going to cover well without having too much overlap. Now this one, it's impossible to cover every single house, or I would say impossible is the wrong word. It's not impossible, it's just won't be efficient. And then you do the same for Mars, you start in some place and then you start expanding to try to cover as much as possible. Then at that point, I had all of my population. I had started, obviously to see how many we're gonna need in terms of needs. So I started to place, the productions. And as we can see over here, they're all into positive, and we're producing enough fish, we're producing porridge, thanks to the oats. We're producing, the tunics, and of course I've tried to put all of the tunics as much as possible inside the city. Over here, and by the way, you may be wondering, why am I doing those tunics and those hats? Well, this is for 2 reasons. The first one is that we're gonna need to upgrade a lot of my people to the next tier, to the second tier of population for the army. So I need to provide one of those 2 at least. The second is, we had started to really decrease a bit on our profit with all of the armies, like the ships and things like this. So I was keen to re-increase a bit my, money, and this one also helped with the happiness, which, as we just discussed, was a really big problem. And that's why I've made both. Honestly, it doesn't take a lot of workforce. I mean, if you look over here at production building, I'm using 50 of workforce right now for my production building. That is nothing, right? And we have, as I said, enough for all of the productions, as you can see. These ones at the bottom, ignore them for now. We'll talk about them later, but all of the tier 1 production, they're all done. So we're ready to start upgrading if we want to. We have, I think, a first... Oh, wait, under attack. We have a first pandemic on this island. So there was a ship, I think, that started there. From time to time, she also repairs, the catapult that's over here. But I think no worries, we have destroyed that. All good. So that's done. She wants to expand. Oh yeah, sure, you can take it. Grant the island. Because these ones are too expensive for me to take anyway right now. So it's better for them to take, and then I can start fighting them. So anyway, yes, I have my first pandemic, but if we go over here, you will see that we're covering really well the city. We're covering really well the city across all 3 of the needs. Oh, here, actually, no, sorry. Over here, there is a very small piece of the city not covered. But we are really positive on island safety right now. In terms of the productions, of course, the farms, you need to try to put them on the places on the sides where you're not going to be able to put a lot of other things, right? taking care of those strange diagonals, etc. Plus, as much as possible, I've been trying to also put them close to one of these aqueducts, right? Because these aqueducts will help with all of those farms. We knew we needed an aqueduct, like this one was mandatory for the forum and the bath, so that was easy, and there was, you know, a source here, so I just did it easy. Then similarly on this side here, it felt easy, like meaning not wasting a lot of tile to put one here. That's going to cover a lot of houses, but also a lot of farms. There's a lot of farms on this side. Yes, we don't have those farms here covered, but it's not the end of the world. A couple of more farms here, and again an aqueduct, which I may actually extend all the way here. We will see. But as you can see, you know, all of these are already covered. Like that's a lot of farm covered by this aqueduct, and there's more space for more too. So that's what we've been doing so far. I said a bit more of the productions on this side. So what's next? Well, what's next is, as I mentioned, we were gonna want to upgrade many of those houses to the next tier, to the Praetorian, to the plebeian tier. Why? Because that's what Praetorians need. So maybe actually before we do this, let's start building this, right? So the barrack, we have also the siege workshop, and the EP12 campus can be built. They actually, it doesn't really matter where you put them, so I think we're gonna put them on this side here. Like they can be as far as you want. The only reason you may want them close by is actually we can move them later, sorry. For now, let's just put them here. I didn't put also a villa, just realized. We probably want to fix that soon. So let's go here. Villa. So there is, oh, I think this is not high enough. They will be able to shoot from the boats there. So maybe we put it more somewhere over here. Let's go. Okay, so here it is. We have, right, the auxilia. We have the archers. In the research or in the belief place, you can unlock the gladiators. I'm gonna show you in a second. And then through research, you can unlock the legionnaires and the slingers. Slingers are actually kind of not as good as archers, but they're also easier to make. Let's research, of course, these guys as soon as possible. Now, the productivity of my mine, you know, this is an infinite research, as I mentioned before, right? So we've already done it. We've actually already researched it twice. So let's stop researching it. Let's focus on these. We're gonna do a lot of these over here. Actually, I want that one too for sure. Slingers. I mean, the reality is I probably want to do all of these now. All of the military research to be able to show you everything. But like for example, Praetorian cavalry too there. Given that, you know, we have now a good production of research, this is going to be super quick. I'm talking about 40 seconds, so I'll show you that in a second. But what I may want to do first is start upgrading a couple of houses, like these ones here, these ones there, and here. So we're starting to now have obviously new needs, right? On top of the tier 1 that we mentioned. Now they're going to want bread, they're going to want garum and other things. We're not going to be able to do all on this island, but obviously we're going to try to do as much as possible on this island, especially what gives population, right? That's going to be the key thing. One thing I did want to also to mention is, remember, this is not the same for each tier in terms of number of people and number of workforce. So if we look at my average Libertus out there, I'm clicking on multiple, you can see they are often at 13 liberties and 7 workforce. If I look at this plebeian here, it's actually only at 12 instead of 13, and it's only 4 of workforce right now. So it's less workforce, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. this is right now without providing other things, right? As soon as we start providing, for example, food, we're going to increase a bit more. I may also provide the garum because it's going to help with my happiness. And similarly, obviously, for the other things like sandals, we probably want to do. But anyway, the Legionnaires have been unlocked, so let me show you. There it is. This is the Legionnaires. This is going to take, you know, some both of tier 1 workforce and tier 2 workforce. This is also going to take 2 kind of materials, not just weapons, but also armors. So we're gonna need to start, you know, building also these armors, which is one of the next research I've put in the line. Speaking of the weapons, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is really with your iron deposit. So we're gonna want to do for sure multiple iron deposit. I mean, probably as much as we can. We're gonna need also some charcoals, and with the Mars, you know, bonuses, that's gonna actually get even better. So if you look over here, thanks to the current population we have, we are at 11,595 of belief for Mars. So we are actually now, you know, this is not the top one, but it's almost the top one. So we're gonna just need to do a bit more to get it to the top. And we did unlock, of course, the gladiators over here, and as I mentioned, the Shrine of Mars too. So that's gonna help with those productions. We're going to, you know, upgrade not everybody to tier 2 because we do need a bit more workforce. As I said here, if you look, this is a lot more of tier 2 workforce, but a bit of tier 1 workforce too, but also for the tier 2 productions, right? So let's start with the bread. I did already put a couple of wheat farms. For example, we're gonna need some grains meal. So actually, let's go and start building. I see one here, one there, 2 of them, perfect. And then we're gonna need some bakeries, which would provide income if you put them inside the city. But you know, now we're on plus 10,000. I don't think we need that. Let's put them instead in the middle of nowhere, like over here. I think this is fine. I may want to put another farm here. Let's see. To try to close. Oops, that's the wrong button. To try to close all of this. Yeah, it's not perfect. Maybe actually let's move this one in front then. That way we're gonna be pretty close, yes. And it has access to water too. So let's go. We're gonna put, you know, I've put 2 of these, so 15 seconds. That means I can support 4 of these if I want. And you may be wondering why I've put so many. You don't actually need to put so many. I'm just saying I could if I wanted. And my city may be actually pretty big, to be honest. So we may actually need so many. You can also get started where you start producing all of the, you know, all of the bread that you need for your whole empire here, right? Instead of having multiple places. So anyway, that's the production of bread that will start as long as we have charcoal. So let's get started on charcoal, maybe on this side. I'm gonna put a few because I'm gonna need that also for the weapons. I will put a fire thing there. Up, up, up. So bread will start. Then garum, I have also placed already a couple of these, I think, on this side. Yeah, we've put 2 of these and we've put 2 of these. So we're getting, actually this was too much, but that's fine. Then the garum, again, it will provide income if you put it inside your city, but it will reduce your happiness. So let's not do that. Let's put more outside. And this was a 1 minute 30-second production. So we actually need probably quite a few. We're gonna do something like this. Maybe start upgrading that guy here. Okay, so let's go 1, 2 at least to get started. Then, you know, we had also the sandals. We said this is also population. The soap is also population. Unfortunately, the soap does take something we don't have on this island, so we're gonna have to think about it. same for the amphorae and olive oil. So we may still bring them, I'm not saying we won't, I'm just saying this can't be done on this island, whereas the sandals actually can. There is only positive if you put it inside the city, but it's also just income. So for now, I think we're gonna keep it out. Put it, you know, over here. This is my new production district. And this is actually a 2-minute production, so we may need even more. There is this one that is negative with happiness, so we're gonna have to be careful. For now, maybe we put it a bit out. I think at some point we won't really have a choice. We'll have to put it, you know, a bit closer. So now this is in range of the warehouse, right? Yes. So at least there's that. Let's put that. And then we need a bit more salt, but we had enough, so that's good. And we're gonna need some pig. This one is again a negative one, so try to keep it on its own. And try to do maybe something like this. Okay, we're probably gonna need 2. Put it there, move this one. Or do I put... yeah, let's leave it there for now, it's fine. Not the end of the world. Actually, it is a bit ugly. Sorry. Let's change that. So let's go here. Up and up. Okay, delete this one. Copy this. And as you can see, we're doing a lot of research right now, thanks to the fact that we have really good. Now that's going to be too far from everybody else, so yeah. Okay. Build these 2. Build 2 here. We build that. So yeah, I think in a couple of minutes we should have all of those productions started. And let me think about those, you know, soap and foray and olive oil, how easy it's gonna be to increase these ones, because right now we are making them on this island here, so I don't think it would be terribly hard. Well, actually, I think the choice has been made for me, because once we upgraded a lot of those houses, as you can see, there's still a few tier 1 over here, but a lot of these now are tier 2. We have now a pretty bad island health. You know, we're at minus 500 and it's climbing, still climbing. We're also pretty close to tier 9 for the city, 10,000 people in this city. And so if we cross that, that's gonna be even worse. So I think we don't have a choice. We're gonna need to give at least, you know, either soap or the olive oil, because this does give you, you know, health. Both of them also give population, so why not? I think that's a good thing. The olive oil one, really interestingly, you know, it gives you also the health area of effect, so we may need to delete a couple of houses just to put it inside the city. The other thing I wanted to show you is that now that we've upgraded a lot of houses, we have, you know, a good idea on the productions needed. And yeah, we're gonna need a lot. Look at the bread, we're gonna need, I mean, let's focus on these ones here. Bread, we're gonna need 5. Gaum, we're gonna need 4. And of course, you know, if we're talking about my soap, 7. Olive oil, 3. So yeah, even the sandal is not enough, right? So I'm gonna need definitely to put a lot more production on this side, which will create even more problem for some of those things, but that's life. There it is, a few minutes later, we've made great progress. We have a first actual production hub over here. So this is terrible, of course, for, you know, some of the things, like for example over here, it's going to create quite a bit of unhappiness, or this one actually is fine. This one here is going to create a bit of fire. This one here is totally fine. So anyway, this is a lot of productions. If you look over here, you'll see that now we are good also on the sandals, or at least starting. We are good also on the amphorae and on the olive oil. The only one we haven't done is soap. We're gonna talk about it in a second. So to recap, sandals we're doing locally, that's easy. We have a couple of these tanneries, we have a lot. of these sandals maker, we have the pig farms and the salt. Then the olive oil, we are actually putting the olive oil kind of production buildings inside the city to get just a bit of health. I mean, I say just a bit, but we're talking about 513, right? So if it wasn't inside the city, we would be negative on health actually. And we're gonna need to bring the olive from somewhere, right? Then the amphorae, we have multiple on this side, as you can see. It's also going to require clay, so we have the clay over here. It's going to require a bit of charcoal, we have the charcoal, so that's not a problem. And then lastly, it requires resin, which we don't have on this island either, right? Now we could, as I said in the past, go with an island here. This was my second island ever, and we did a lot of those productions here. But I found a better way. This is really straight out of ANNO 1800, where we start to have no workforce island. This is a no workforce island. There is, you know, zero houses. There's zero houses, but we do get workforce, right? We get workforce from the trading post, you get 50, and we actually also get workforce from the governor's villa. If you go at the top here, you see governor's villa, 25 of Libertus, 50 actually of plebeian, and even if we continue, and this is thanks to research, sorry, I should have said it. So one is over here, 25 of Libertus, here is 50 plebeians, and actually we can even do over here the 50 equites if we get there. So that would be a really cool one. We have a few more, but we're still doing also research on this side. So anyway, we have no houses, so we have very, very low chances of any problems, right? Because we don't have a high here city status, but we can put productions. And so I've started to put two productions on this island because we have the olive and the resin. So the resin is over here, right? All of those tappers, they just need a few trees around. So you do something like this, right? And we can even put more in the future if we need be. We have 7. And then we have also the olive oil at the top there. I even put, because again, we have the space, we have the money, it's kind of free workforce. So I've put an aqueduct, I brought it over here, right? And this is going to, with this, provide also some bonuses of health and things like this. But more importantly, right, it's going to boost all of those productions by 50%. Now, by the way, I think there is a bug right now because I have the global. I have this unlocked, right, from Ceres, but I'm not getting the bonus. No clue why. So anyway, we have a couple of these olive groves. They have access to water and they deliver. And in the future, we have, you know, we can put another one there, put more farms if need be. And of course, there is a ship that's going from this island to that island over here to deliver them. And this is why we have started to provide, you know, both the olive oil and the amphorae. We haven't started though, as I said, the soap, because soap requires lavender, which unfortunately we didn't have on this small island here. But don't worry, there is another small island there that I also just took over. Again, you know, free workforce basically, thanks to this villa over here and the trading post. And so now I just need to put, you know, lavender field on this, and I'm gonna bring the lavender back to my city, and it's in this city here that we're gonna place the soap makers, etc. And this is going to unfortunately reduce my happiness even further. So I can either put it here or I can start. I think we're gonna keep this more for like military. Oh, but there's also this corner there, sorry. So for now, I can do a corner here for just soap. Probably gonna need, as always, a few. Let's do that. Maybe I'll just move it there, make it a bit cleaner. Okay, we're gonna build 4 to get us started. Build one of these. Okay, so is 4 enough? Let's check it out. We need 6, so or maybe even 7, right? Because it's rounded. So let's check it out. Yeah, we need one more than 6. Okay, that's fine. So that's gonna create again, remember, a problem for my happiness, but it will help actually with health. So that's better than nothing. But what we may want to do then is counteract with some of these things here, right? We can build a kind of mini corner there with all of these things. That's not very clean to put it there. Let me see if I move that there. Still not very clean. Oh, but if I put it here, I can still place a road. I'm not losing a lot of space. So let's do that. Oops. Up, up, up. Okay, this is costing money for nothing, so let's delete it. And I can even put, you know, those small ones there potentially, but it's not gonna change a lot. So this is for happiness. It's that one for happiness. It's just a couple of buildings, but you know, why not? Why not? Doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I mean, it does cost money and workforce, but not a lot. Anyway, so we have over here, right, enough of this. Now we need to make sure we also put multiple of these ones, which will again reduce happiness and fire safety. So try again to put them slightly further. 1, 2, 3. This is 1 minute, so we actually need the same amount. Oh, so I'm gonna place 8. Now this should be in range of the warehouse, so I'm not gonna put more. Okay, so if we go here, we'll see 7 to 7. That's perfect. But now we're gonna need a bit more charcoal potentially, and definitely more pigs. Good thing is my health is fine. So looking at pigs, yes, we need 11, we have 7. So it's actually not that many. For now, I've put all of the pigs over here. So let's continue with them together. I know it stacks, right? To be clear, I know it's stacking the maluses, but it's also to help. Actually, let's just copy. It's to help me with my organization. You know, it's starting to become a bit more complex to manage. And we are in positive, so that's fine. Okay, is that gonna be enough? We are just above, perfect. So the only thing we are missing is lavender. We're gonna need 11 or 7. Yeah, lavender, we need 7. So go over here, and we're just gonna start placing some lavender. This is not a warehouse, but we know we will need a warehouse here for the mines in the future. So might as well place one and then start putting lavender. Should we put also some water? We only have 3 slots on this island, so maybe we don't. We just place basic stuff. Let's go. It's a big field, lavender. Keep that in mind. And that's also why having kind of a dedicated island like this rather than using an island where I also have a lot of population is a good idea. Okay, just want to make sure I cover all of those corners here. Okay, oh, here too. Damn you. Let's fix that. And we continue placing more. Okay, another one somewhere. I don't know what's going on. Yep. Not the most glamorous thing. Definitely not beauty builder. You know, Taka wouldn't like what I'm doing, but he understands that I'm not a beauty builder. It's not new. It's been like that for many years. And to be clear also, I am not saying that being a beauty builder is easier than a min-maxer. It's just two different types of gameplay. Okay, so let's build all of these and see what do we have now. We have only 2. Oh, slow is that production? Oh, it's a 2-minute production. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, only stupid people don't change their mind from time to time, especially when they see new information. New information again being that lavender was 2-minute production time. So with this water coming down here, we can now, you know, irrigate the whole island all the way over here, and then of course over here, you know, it's all irrigated, and then it's easy for me to add one there, right? So we're gonna be able to irrigate the whole island, and with this, you know, I didn't need that many lavender to make 8 per minute, as you can see over here. So that production is done. We have a ship going and bring it over here, and so I think it is. Lavender is done, soap is done. So look at this corner there, right? We have this production going. We did jump into negative now for island happiness. The good thing though is we jump into super positive for island health, right? Because we're now at plus 900 with this. So that's really cool. But yeah, I need to find a way to decrease. So we're losing a lot from the garum, 450 from the garum. Okay, and that's because they are where? Where did I put this? Okay, I put them all here. And so basically there's tons of buildings in range. Maybe we indeed move them. So let's go. I'm just gonna do something. Yes. Up. Same for these 3. And then clearly we're gonna need more. Okay. So if I put them over here, you can see now this is pretty much far from everything. So maybe that's what we do. Now we're just gonna have a road there. Oh, what's going on? Road here. Up. And then up. We need one warehouse just in case. Doesn't cost a lot of workforce. And so now, you know, there is some holes there, but this is clean, this is working, and we're back into positive for island health. So that is happiness, sorry, island happiness. And yeah, all of my people now are getting everything except this grammaticus that is not needed. So we are good. We have 1000 of workforce for Libertus, that's still there. 2500 plebeian workforce. That's gonna be a lot of legionaries, right? But before we talk about, or before we start making, you know, weapons and all those type of things, there is 2 other buildings, right? The siege workshop and the equitum campus. So let's build both of them. The only thing is they will require equites workforce. Right now I'm getting 5.4 for one of those public buildings. I don't remember which one it is, but anyway, that's not very important. What is important is I am doing the research. There is 20 minutes left for the equites workforce. It's gonna be 50 of workforce, free workforce, right? As long as you have a governor's villa. So that's gonna be good, but we can still look at it, right? We can still see that we have the onager over here. This is basically, you know, catapults, if you wish. And then we have over here the scorpioness or scorpions that needs to be researched. And on the other hand, we have, you know, the equestrian cavalry, or we can also unlock the praetorian cavalry. These ones are obviously very strong, but they will take, if I remember correctly, a lot of those equies, you know, the tier 3 of population. So we may focus a bit more just on legionaries. We started the episode with nothing on this island, and now we have more than 10,000 people, 12,000 to be precise, on this island. Could grow it a bit more, but I think that's enough. That's enough. With this, we are also Mars being our most important god over here. It has overcame Neptune, so we have the offense and defense for all troops that have been increased. But more importantly, as we just said, right, we have so much workforce to be able to create tons of legionaries. For that though, we're going to need to start actually making weapons. So both these weapons over here, right? Let's say the swords as well as the armor. So we're gonna need to do both of those things into this island to get also the bonus from Mars, and we can start building a big army. So we are very close, very close, ladies and gents, to start attacking others. I don't know if we're gonna start attacking the AIs first or the pirates. What is me going out there? Thank you for watching, smash like button, and I hope to see you next time.